She went blind, mocked by the men of the church, and forced to ask for help just to write down a single word. And yet today she is counted among the greatest mystics of the Middle Ages. Her name was Mechtild of Magdeburg, and her life was one long struggle. She was born into a noble family in 13th century Germany. At 12 years old, she had her first vision of the Holy Spirit. And at 20, she left everything, the wealth, the safety, her family's name, to live as a Beguine, a woman who gave her life to God, but without convent walls, in the middle of the world, among the poor and the sick. She wrote down her visions in her own language, Low German, the language of the poor, in an age when everything holy was supposed to be written in Latin. That made her dangerous. Her sharp criticism of the men of the church stirred up such hatred that some demanded her writings be burned. But Mechthild did not stop, not even when she grew old, opposed and blind. Then she dictated her final words to the sisters, who became her eyes and hands. And what she wrote was almost always about one thing, the love between God and the soul. She wrote, "I cannot dance, Lord, unless you lead me. If you want me to leap with abandon, you must intone the song. Then I shall leap into love, from love into knowledge, from knowledge into enjoyment." Hear what she's saying. She isn't trying to force anything. She waits for God to begin and lets herself be led. She also wrote, "The soul is made to love. The soul is made of love. It must ever strive to return to love. It can never find rest nor happiness in anything else. It must lose itself in love." And in one of her most intimate lines, she turns directly to God and says, "Lord, you are my lover, my longing, my flowing stream, my sun, and I am your reflection." Think about that. Not a distant God high above, a God so near that the soul reflects him. But Mechthild also had a practice, and it's surprisingly simple. For her, prayer was not beautiful words or the right posture. Prayer, she wrote, is nothing but the yearning of the soul. It draws the great God down into the little heart and drives the hungry soul up towards the fullness of God. That's the whole secret. You don't need the right words, you only need to long. Let your longing for God be your prayer. Don't try to silence it. Don't try to fill it with other things. Let it stay open, like an emptiness only God can fill. Because Mechthild believed the hunger itself was the meeting place. That the very feeling of missing God was a sign of how near he already was. So tonight, if you feel a longing you can't put into words, a recklessness, an emptiness, a searching, try not to run from it. Instead, turn it towards God and say, this is my prayer. And maybe, just like Mechthild, you'll discover that the longing was never the distance to God. It was the beginning of the dance.